Hi, welcome to R1 Movies with me, Rhianna. Out this week, there's only one film. The industry seemed to have paved the way for Spectre.
This organisation, do you know what it's called?
Its name is Spectre.
Spectre deals with the fallout of Skyfall and actually pretty much the rest of the Daniel Craig canon of Bond films. So it ties up a lot of loose ends, which worked really well. I think the plot was perhaps a little bit thin. I mean, critics have been raving about this. Actually, it's not perfect, but it does leave room for some of the things that I think worked really well. So I thought the film was particularly witty. It was great to see some of the smaller characters like Q come a little bit more into the forefront.
A couple of things to get through. Shall we get started?
Spectre is really dark and moody and bleak, and it deals a lot with death, but it also balances out because of the really gorgeous romance. Seydoux is absolutely fantastic as the new Bond girl. She was one of the standout performances for me.
Why, given every other possible option, does a man choose the life of a paid assassin?
Well, it was that or the priesthood.
This is what happened when I spoke to the Bond cast. Obviously, there have been a lot of women in Bond films over the years, but what element of your character did you want to particularly stand out and make it memorable for you? What was like the one thing?
I like the fact that she's feisty and independent, smart, and she doesn't really need Bond. She doesn't.
No.
I mean, she doesn't want anything to do with him.
Lucia is like, she's a woman from the past. She's a woman who comes from a world of men, and she wants to escape from that. So it's beautiful to see those two different women, one who comes from the past and one who represents the future.
In the film, your character is described as a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have visions of?
Yeah, well, the character I play, who's called C, is a very ruthless kind of character who is a visionary in the sense that he because we live now in the digital age and there's surveillance everywhere, and he's got a very specific idea that we've got to just monitor everything in order to keep the place safe. And I've got to say, my own personal vision is not that. I think we need to embrace technology in a way, but also allow ourselves to have some privacy. I find the whole thing about getting emails about, things that you may be interested in, I find that deeply sinister.
Actors always seem to have a real backstory to their characters. So have you worked out which football team Bond supports?
Liverpool supporter.
So does that mean that the person who comes after you, whoever they support, they're going to have to support?
No, they have to be a Liverpool
Bond?
supporter. Yeah.
Train scene was the best action scene.
Oh, that's so good to
So,
hear.
it looked incredible. It looked really painful.
It was, it was. It was a rough scene to shoot because we were very physical. It was in very tight quarters.
And also doing it in like a three-piece suit. I mean, how many times did you split your trousers open?
A few. But we had, that was a good thing. They were well prepared for it. I think for that particular scene, I want to say that they made me like 13 suits.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we went through them. We went through all of them.
That's
they had
hilarious.
particular suits, and they had some suits that were, hand tailor made just for when I was just standing there, standing there looking pretty. And then they had scenes, suits with extra, sewing in them, extra stitching, to keep them from ripping. But yeah, they were well prepared.
Spectre definitely had some wrinkles that needed ironing out, but I was really, really entertained by it, so 4 stars for Spectre. If you're not a massive Bond fan, there are still a couple of other films out. Mississippi Grind came out last week, which starred Ryan Reynolds as a gambler trawling the South. He's very charismatic in it, and it's a very sweet, funny film, kind of like a bromance. Also, Suffragette, which is obviously all about the women's right to vote, starring the wonderful Carey Mulligan. That's still out as well. Next week, I'll be reviewing Brooklyn, He Named Me Malala, and Kill Your Friends. So make sure you click here to subscribe and catch that.